Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the market recap. Okay, so hopping into the markets, let's take a quick look at the news that came out this morning. So essentially, we had two big pieces of news today. We had the initial jobless claims numbers come out, as well as the US GDP quarter over quarter numbers come out as well. So starting off with the good news, they're both pretty good. The US GDP quarter over quarter numbers that came out, we beat by zero point 0.2. So we were forecasted at being at 2.4%, but we actually beat. The economy grew by 0.2%, totaling to 2.6% over the quarter. So that's pretty good. That's what you want to see as you're going into a holiday season. And then the U.S. initial jobless claims, pretty much we beat forecast at 220,000 to the actual of being 217,000. So that just shows that, hey, more people are going into work, whether it's part-time or seasonal work. Again, makes total sense as we're going into the holiday season. So even though it doesn't mean that we're having a turnaround in the economy, this is definitely what you want to see as we're going into holiday season, that we may at least have a nice Q4. If we did see weaker numbers here, it would have been very, very bad. It would have then implied that we might be seeing not just a bad, Q1, 2, and 3, but Q4, the entire year, would have been extremely negative. So we may get a bit of a reprieve going into the end of the year. So, that's great. That's great, especially if you want to see some of the selling pressure kind of, lessen. Doesn't mean we're out of the woods. We're actually very far into them, and we still have ways to go, in my opinion. But we could definitely take a rest and maybe, just have a breather before we see any more downside, potentially. All right, so now let's hop into the charts. We're going to start off with the Dixie. So dollar's doing kind of exactly what I mapped out it would do yesterday, which is pretty cool to see. So I said, once we start breaking under this pivot here, I have circled right here, and we start grabbing the liquidity that's been pulling down there, we may see a pop back up towards 111, and that's exactly what looks like is brewing. So for the rest of the week, I would not be surprised if we start seeing a pullback back towards 111 and even potentially higher, going towards 111.5. And then once we're there, we are primed to break back down and go lower towards 108. Okay, so we are definitely on the path that we have mapped out so far. We'll see as price gets towards this zone if it's going to find a wall, a ceiling, and then break down. Potentially, if we get really, really bearish news, or I should say hawkish news coming out of the Fed, for the next FOMC and potentially them holding firm at raising at 0.75, dollar may break past this zone and we may actually go up higher. I still would be quite surprised if we break this developing descending trend line very soon. I would think this is going to hold for some time, this trend line here, but it is possible it can break if the Fed really holds firm on its hawkish stance and actually just double down. But I don't see that happening. I do see them slowing down as we get into December, and then us breaking down towards 108. But once we're down towards 108, or even this lower level, if we have a significant pullback in the dollar, look for that reversal to go higher, and probably the bear market rally in Bitcoin, in crypto, and in stocks ending as we are in these zones. Okay. So next, let's take a quick look at the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ, starting with the Dow. So again, pulling up again as I said it probably would, as it's approaching this trend line. Okay, we could be seeing the beginnings of a consolidation here. Okay, because we did break past the high yesterday, but now we're trading back under it. So if we do close under that wick, the high of yesterday, look for some sort of consolidation or a minor pullback to fill out the small imbalances that are forming here. Okay, and then potentially pulling back up towards this ascending trend line. If we do close above the high of yesterday, then I believe either probably tomorrow or early Monday pre-market, we may be actually touching this trend line. Most likely tomorrow, and then next week we may see some downside. As we approach this trend line, I'm going to be looking for some downside, whether that's a bullish consolidation or just a retracement back to the levels of 31,200 to 30,000. Okay, but so far it's been playing out very well. But look how steep we're going. There's going to be a lot of imbalance to fill down here, a lot of fair value gaps to start filling, and we're going to see that play out. We can actually start marking some of them out here. So here's a fair value gap right here. That's going to end up getting filled at some point, most likely. And here's another one that's just developed as well. All right, and then here's a bigger one down here. Or I should say another one. I don't know if it's that much bigger. No, it's actually a little bit smaller. Okay. All right, so you'll see these levels get revisited as we start approaching this resistance, or if we start closing under yesterday's low, we'll probably start making our way back down to fill out these gaps. All right, next is S&P. So S&P, to me, this is a topping structure, and this is what gives me more confidence that the Dow is probably going to do a pullback. So you have this doji here after this small rise, and now potentially we're going to get a bearish engulfing on that bottom wick. If that happens, look for a downside move. The first fair value gap we have right in front of us is right here. Okay, so we can see a minor pullback to that level, and then potentially we can go even lower and start targeting the lows down here, eating the liquidity here, and coming back towards 3,600. Okay, that's not out of question. That doesn't really change much. The only thing that will change the potential, short-term bottoming structure we're in is if these lows are taken out here. Okay, so price could theoretically come all the way down, just like this. Okay, hold this level and still be okay and show that we potentially have a change of character that's formed here, because we took out the highs here and we took out the high here. All right, and if we come down here, we did not take out the low here, so it's still another higher low. So be prepared for that pullback if that's what's going to take place. So far, this sort of pattern you see, a doji, and then the next candle being a sell-off, or looking to take out the lows of that doji, tends to be a topping structure. Okay, tends to be a topping pattern. All right, NASDAQ is next. So NASDAQ, here we go. We're having that pullback, and again, like I said in the last recaps, NASDAQ always has far more extended percentage moves, and the S&P is moderate, and then the Dow is minor. So it's not surprising we're seeing the NASDAQ pull back harder, and that's kind of what I was insinuating would probably happen yesterday in the last recap. We're going to see a pullback back towards 11,100 to 11,000, and then we're going to see if it can actually start making a higher low from this low down here. So as long as it holds this low down here, so let's actually mark this here. So as long as it holds this level right here at 10,427, we are still primed for potential change of character. Okay, we are still primed for this trend line having been broken right here. Okay, so this minor trend being broken, we could see a higher move up. All right, as long as this low isn't taken out. If this low is taken out, then obviously look for more downside. But so far, I'm seeing a change of character structure being formed here, and I think 11,000 to 11,100 will play as significant support for the NASDAQ. And then once that solidifies, we'll start attacking the top side of this this descending channel again. All right, so let's get on to oil next. Oil continuing its move up from yesterday. Had a beautiful day yesterday, very strong move. Again, now it's starting to attack this minor pivot here. So it may slow down here. It may even actually do that pullback that I kind of showed right here. But honestly, from its consolidation on the support and then yesterday's strength, I would not be surprised to get stronger into the close and then it breaks up higher. And then we start looking at it to fill this fair value gap that's right in front of it here. So this one right here. All right, so it's just right there, and it's probably going to fill that out and then start attacking liquidity above this level. And then it gets towards like minor resistances right here, and then this major resistance, this ascending trend line, will be by the hundreds to 103, 104 level. Okay, so I do see oil getting actually quite high, getting quite high as we go into the colder months as well. And now let's get on to gold and silver. It's probably going to be the same story. So gold got towards the trend line here. It's starting to fail off of it. Again, I'm very, very, very patient with gold. If gold is going to do anything, this trend line is going to have to break. Okay, so nothing changes until this descending trend line breaks. And so far, it doesn't have the fuel. Now we're going to see, will it be able to do a bullish consolidation or hold this level here? Let me pop that there. This is a very, very, very small level here. Actually, I'm gonna redraw that. Okay, let's see right here. Oh, I have the wrong tool up. Whoops, that's why. Sorry about that. So if we could hold this low wick right here, okay, as a support and start a bullish consolidation as it goes down, then potentially we may get the fill to break through. And once we break through, it will probably be a minor break where we'll have to come back and test the descending trend line as support once more. Right now, it's not showing it. I think it does have to come down and start, just kind of consolidating down here. If it can't hold this wick, I'm going to be very skeptical that it's going to be able to hold these bottom wicks down here. Okay, I'm going to think it's going to come lower, but again, we'll see. We'll see. Other than that, gold is just in a holding pattern. Can't really do much. You have to wait and see how this is going to play out. Next is silver, which is still in its microphone structure, right? So still in that expanding structure, and it's also in a rising structure within. I like how silver looks until it comes down towards this trend line. If this trend line starts to fail as support before it breaks up towards this top side, watch for it to come down hard towards 14-15 bucks. That has not changed. So again, just like gold, silver's not going to be doing much. We kind of just have to wait and see. I'm more interested to see it break through and start attacking this imbalance here. So let me just start marking that. So this imbalance here, which it has started just a bit, okay, but there's still another fair value gap it hasn't been able to fill out. I think it did tap the very bottom of it though. So right here, yeah, tap the bottom of it there. And then there's another one right above here. So I want to see it start filling these out. Okay, once it fills these out, it can fail from here, but I do want to see if it is in this microphone structure, it does take out the liquidity that's residing up here and starts tapping this upper trend line here. Okay, once we get towards this level here, I'm going to be looking for a major pullback that will bring us all the way down towards 15-14 bucks. But if we can't actually breach this fair value gap and we start breaking down again towards this rising trend line, if this starts showing decisive breakdown, then look for that fall to 14-15 bucks. All right, this will happen to me, in my opinion, that we break down through here if gold starts to fail and break under those these two levels here. So this double bottom here, that's when I think silver will also break down from this rising structure going towards the bottom side of the microphone structure. That's how I'm seeing it play out. And I think that's it for today. Yeah, I'm not going to go over anything else. I mean, I keep forgetting. Let me do Bitcoin. Sorry about that. Don't leave yet. Let me do Bitcoin. So we'll do Bitcoin. So Bitcoin again, playing out as I've been saying. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's actually starting to trade within this imbalance, this fair value gap. Finding some resistance here, which is to be expected. I do see this having to pull back, maybe do a bullish consolidation on the pullback, and then potentially even going all the way down here to fill out this small fair value gap that's formed, just to tap it, and then maybe continue higher. But I do like what I'm seeing overall. To me, this is a breakout, and it's the beginning of a change of character. Took out this high pivot here, closed above that high pivot. So I am seeing this as a change of character, but we may be in line for a pullback. And then in the coming days to weeks, we should see a continuation move to the upside if this is going to play out and get towards this high pivot here that I have circled to fill out this entire imbalance, and then potentially go even higher to fill out this structure. And to me, that would solidify that this is a Adam and Eve double bottom structure as well. All right, everyone, that's it for today. I hope you are having a great day, and we're coming into the end of the week. So Friday's tomorrow, and then we're going into a weekend. So hopefully you have a great week and weekend. Just remember, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me on the Discord. And if you're interested in any of my services, make sure to check out the link in the description below or the link in the Discord. The swing trade service, the live free trial, is going to be going live in a couple of days, November 1st. And if you're interested in learning how I trade, you want me to teach you how I do it, make sure to check out the Patreon. It's $300 for 4 sessions in the month, or you could do $100 per session. I do recommend you you pay for the month, because you get 1 session for free rather than paying $100 per session. In the month it would be $400. That way you only pay $300 and you get 1 free. Okay. All right, everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys.